I'm glad to finally meet you in person, guests from the Astral Express. I'm Fei Xiao, the general of the Xianzhou Yao Qing.
Let me introduce our guest to you. The one dressed in green.
He's the reincarnation of Imbibitor Lune, and the person behind him is the newest member of the crew. I've heard a lot about you. Outside the reports from the Law Fu, the Skyfaring Commission of the Yao Qing has also gathered plenty of information about both of you. I've been eager to meet you face to face for reasons that I'm sure General Jing Yuan has explained, right? Straight to the point. I like it. According to General Jing Yuan's report, the Ruin Legion is to blame for the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, and all Arbiter Generals should pay attention to the Ruin Author's movements. Over the years, the Destruction's minions have wreaked havoc on countless worlds, and the Alliance has been keeping an eye on them, but no one expected them to join hands with the remnants of the Abundance. The damage caused by the Ambrosial Arbor crisis was far less severe than expected, which is good news for us. However, it was quite different from the Ruin Legion's usual style of destroying life wherever they go. While I trust the bravery of the Divine Foresight and the Nameless, I'm curious about some details missing from the report. I'd like to take this chance to have an exchange with both of you. Let me be clear, the questions I'll ask might not reflect my actual thoughts, so please don't take offense if any of my questions seem a bit harsh.
Please go ahead, General. But keep in mind we can only answer based on what we know. And perhaps you already have the answers to your questions in your heart.
You have a clever tongue. I like it.
The Merlin's claw is quite articulate. Right now, her intentions are unknown, and Jing Yuan wants us to be honest. Maybe I'll just stick to the facts we know.
Let's cut to the chase. Before the crisis struck, the Astral Express was guided here by a Stellaron hunter, a wanted felon, in an attempt to resolve the Stellaron crisis. However, everyone in the cosmos knows of the Stellaron hunter's reputation. So, why did you place so much trust in them? Could it be that some of you have a connection with them?
Apart from the Law Fu, there are many other worlds suffering from Stellaron corrosion. For example, Urilo 6, the world that the Express stopped at before reaching the Law Fu, was one of them.
To the Express, Stellarons act as roadblocks on the Silver Rail and pose risks to the warping process. And that's why dealing with Stellaron issues is part of the duty of the Nameless.
Ah, I've heard about those problems caused by Stellarons. The Express connects various worlds, so it makes sense for you to take care of this. The cosmos is a mess, and the Trailblazers are just doing their best to fix it. I understand. Let's move on to the next question. The report suggests that Don Shu, the master of the Disciples of Sanctus Medicus, colluded with the Lord Ravager and used the power of the Stellaron to resurrect the Ambrosial Arbor. But here's the thing. Don Shu was just a chief alchemist. Even if she colluded with our enemies and summoned the Stellaron, how did she manage to bypass the Videodora guards around the Ambrosial Arbor?
I personally met Don Shu once. Her closest friend was killed during the war on the Fanghu, and she harbored deep hatred towards the Hunt. So she spent years making preparations in the Alchemy Commission in order to take revenge on the Xianzhou.
Revenge is also a form of the Hunt. However, that doesn't explain how she managed to bring the Stellaron into the Scale Gorge waterscape, which was guarded by the Videodora.
Well, you should ask Don Shu herself for the answer.
Unfortunately, Don Shu is dead, and even her corpse has crumbled into ash. That's one less clue we can pursue. According to the report, Lord Ravager Phantylia is the mastermind behind the entire conspiracy. She disguised herself as an ambassador of the Skyfaring Commission and traveled with you, only to vanish without a trace later on. It seems too convenient to label her as a scapegoat.
I was there, fighting Phantylia alongside General Jing Yuan. But she absorbed the power of the ambrosial arbor and gained an almost indestructible physical form. Perhaps that was her intention all along.
So, a pawn of the destruction wanted a flesh and blood body to live in. Interesting. That's quite a new perspective. Oh, it seems that your answers have addressed all my questions. Generals, I am finished with my questioning.
So, what do you think, General Fei Shao? Have the doubts in the report been cleared up?
The two nameless have been honest in their answers. Even though there are some tricky details, my intuition tells me there is nothing wrong. However, the 3 questions I posed earlier were not just for the nameless, but for you too, General Jing Yuan. First, the disciples of Sanctus Medicus grew uninterrupted on the Law Fu, yet the 6 charioteers were not aware of it. That was a dereliction of duty. Second, you believed in the Stellaron Hunter's prophecy and entrusted outsiders to solve the crisis, even granting them access to the plague mark. That was a dereliction of responsibility. Third, you insist on holding the war dance right after the Ambrosial Arbor crisis, putting the Lawfu back in the spotlight. That is a dereliction of wisdom.
Merlin's Claw. Is this your line of thinking, or the 10 Lords?
From the moment I walked in, I made it clear that the questions I'd ask might not reflect my actual thoughts.
The disciples of Sanctus Medicus were deeply rooted and had been plotting for a long time. I admit it was my negligence for not noticing it earlier. As for the Stellaron Hunter's prophecy, I didn't believe all of it, but in the end, the Law Fu did survive the Ambrosial Arbor crisis. So, I think it's safe to say that Elio's prophecy about the future holds some merit. And as for the war dance, do you think I'm unaware of the risks? However, risks can also be opportunities. The Law Fu has lain low for too long. I believe it's time to stir up the dregs hidden in the depths and wash them away once and for all.
Just as I expected from our sophisticated divine foresight. You have a way with words. I like it. But, unfortunately, ever since the report was submitted, the Alliance has been filled with rumors and speculation. Even within the Lawfu, there are people accusing you of neglecting your duties, resulting in the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection.
So what are your thoughts on all of this, General Fei Shao?
As a fellow Arbiter General, I fully understand the difficulties of this position. Personally, I think all these rumors are meaningless drivel. Across the sea of stars, the divine foresight knows better than anyone else what happened on the Lawfu and the meaning behind it. Just as what happened on the Xianzhou Yaoqing recently.
You mean the Xianzhou Yaoqing is also...
The scouts of the Verdant Knights have sent back reports that Borisin are making trouble again. The Borisin packs that were once divided and scattered have started swallowing each other up, forming larger and larger packs. Moreover, there's an entity named Mongoose behind it all.
An entity?
According to the report, this entity isn't actually a Borson. It's a woman claiming to be the messenger of the Master of Immortality. She's described as having 12 faces and 12 pairs of fangs, as cruel as poison and as elusive as quicksand. The Borson believe she'll give them a chance to rise again.
That's Phantylia.
That's right. You're lucky that I'm the one who came this time. If it were the Patina Justice or the Seer Strategist, this conversation might not be so friendly. I've always had faith in my instincts, so I don't doubt your good intentions. But the Alliance has its fair share of questions and doubts about the Law Fu. So, my plan is to come up with an acceptable answer to satisfy the Alliance.
What's in this plan, General Fei Shao?
General Jing Yuan, you already know what has to be done. But since you don't want to be the bad guy, I'll take care of it for you. You need the final word from the Ten Lords Commission to quell any doubts. And for that, I'll have to ask the two Nameless to visit the Shackling Prison. No, I'm not imprisoning you. While you're there, I'll ask a judge in the Ten Lords Commission's Interrogation Division to record a detailed testimony with the karmic mirror from both of you. We'll fill in the gaps that weren't covered in the report and silence any protests within the Alliance.
I'm okay with that.
Worried that I might go back on my word and keep you in the Shackling Prison? Relax. If I wanted to do that, you'd already be behind bars. Once you're done with your testimony, you're free to come and go as you please.
Then, as the Merlin's Claw requests...
Oh, there's one more thing. This testimony is for silencing the voices of opposition within the Alliance, but I would like to urge General Jing Yuan to listen to the pleas of the Foxians on the Xianzhou Yaoqing.
So, you are here for Hule.
Exactly. Hule is locked up in the Law Fu's Shackling Prison. Since he is the broodlord of the Borson, I want to transfer him onto the Xianzhou Yaoqing and imprison him there. The recent movements of the Borson suggest they're planning something big, so we must act preemptively.
It makes sense to have the Foxians keep an eye on their arch-nemesis. Since you trust my judgment, I'll repay that trust. What do you think about all this, General Huayan?
I was worried this would turn into a heated argument, but it seems like both of you are on the same page, solving each other's problems. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome.
And as for Hule, I'll send my lieutenants Zhao Chou and Moza to check on his condition in prison and ready him for transport. If there are no more questions, shall we get this started?
「争いを和睦に変えるのはいいことだ」
あなたは性格ハンターの予言を信じてるの？信じてる。だからここに来たの。なるほどね。言葉は真実を包み隠せるけど、あなたが話す時の目、呼吸のリズム、そして匂いが代わりに本当のことを教えてくれるの。他人の発言より私は自分の直感を信じてるのよ。猿王があなたが低級をと猿王が言ってた通り、あなたは確かに特別な存在ね。あなたが低級を友とする道を歩むことを 祈ってるわ。
すまないな。優秀国での証言の記録にはそれほど時間はかからないと思うが、これから使者を呼んで二人を獣王司文字部の判官のところまで案内させよう。そこで証言を残せば帰れるから、何も心配することはない。
分かった。将軍の言う通りにしよう。
慶元将軍の要請により出迎えに来ました。文書は用意してあります。文字部の判官にもお二人の来意を伝えていますよ。
優秀国、何年ぶりだろうな。またここに戻ってくることになるとは思わなかった。
炭鉱。
俺は大丈夫だ。
準備ができたのなら獄門を開きますね。はい。ではどうぞお入りください。準備ができたのなら。
何を見ている？
ラフの優秀国。妖精のものとは随分違いますね。水の下に隠されているなんて。
空の上だろうと水の下だろうと脱出するのは簡単だ。
おや、また脱獄癖が抑えられなくなったんですか？詮索するのはやめなさい。今の君は自由の身なのですから。ここで判官たちに何か企んでいると思われたら数百年の懲役を食らうことになりますよ。
仮に捕まったとしても数日後にはまた俺の顔を見ることになるだろうな。
風霊を妖精に応送することは妖精の子族だけでなく将軍にとっても非常に重要なこと。用心していきましょう。
はじめまして。私は節井と言います。獣王司サジブの命を受け、ここでお二人を待っていました。
昇級モゼ、天撃将軍秘書より堀の重罪に風霊を妖精へ応送するよう命を受けてまいりました。今回は風霊の収容状況を見て応送の下準備をすることが目的です。判官さんもすでに知らせを受けているでしょう。
はい、面会の申請は承認されました。ここからは私が案内人を務めます。罪人風霊、北条の意味物、オリジンの選手、スフ、古族の大敵、そのものは2123回に及ぶ 侵略戦争およびそれに付随する連帯犯罪の責を負わなければならない。その凶暴かつ残忍な行いを鑑み、優秀国の底へ投獄した後、天地が滅ぶまで無限剣樹の刑に処するものとする。
ハンガンさん、判決文を読み上げる必要はありませんよ。風霊は我ら古族の旧敵。妖精の人は彼の悪名を叱り文句に子供をしつけるので、その行いも全て知っていますから。早く次の手順に進みましょ
う。重罪人に面会する以上、全ての規則があなたたちの安否に関わります。幼い頃から風霊の伝説を聞いていたとしても、彼を正しく認識していることにはなりません。優秀国の底に閉じ込められているのがどのような意味物なのか知っているのは獣王種の半眼だけです。ラフの先代剣主渓流が風霊を捕らえてから早数百、優秀国は風霊に食事を与えたことはありませんが、それでも奴は生きています。これは記録にあるホリジンの生理機能と一致しません。刑事部が作った無限剣樹は罪を重ねた意味物に苦痛を与えるための警具です。ほとんどのホリジンは剣樹刑に3日も耐えられずに死んでしまいますが、あの妖物は違う。剣に刺されてもすぐに回復して、今でも刑を受けながら生きながらえているのです。この凶悪な獣の異常性こそが規則を必要とする理由です。ここまで言えば理解できるでしょう。
ああ、僕が戦慮でした。続けてください。
風霊との面会における禁止事項をまとめたものをあなたたちに渡しておきます。しっかり目を通してください。それと次の階層に行く前に必ずこの弾薬を服用するようお願いします。
得体の知れない薬を飲むつもりはない。
では最下層に行かせることはできません。
飲みましょう。風霊はホリジンですからね。朗読というフェロモンを放ち、相手の恐怖を呼び起こせるのです。数千年前、我が一族はホリジンに奴隷として扱われていながら抵抗することができずにいました。その原因は古族が奴らに劣っているからではなく、そのフェロモンにあったのです。ハンガンさんは僕たちの心の健康を気にかけてくれているのですよ。
わかった。
やっぱり君は話のわかる人ですね。薬は飲みましたので行きましょうか。ハンガンさ
ん、どうしました？
いえ、何でもありません。多分僕の勘違いです。行きましょう。
着きました。半眼はまだ来ていないようなので少々お待ちください。
ここは相変わらず寒いな。すまない。少し嫌なことを思い出してしまって。ありがとう。 だが俺のせいでお前たちを泉州の事件に巻き込んでしまった。お前は優秀国の景色を目にするべきではなかったのに。本当にすまない。機会があればもっと別の方法でラフの景色を見せたかったんだがな。すまない。ありがとう。だが俺のせいでお前たちを泉州、機会があれば泉州の他の場所では六音の方が権威がある。だが優秀国では獣王子の半眼が至高の存在なんだ。半眼は審判の時に5兄弟のような複雑な尋問システムを使う。それは問答するたびにレンズのように非信人の体の変化と信号を捉え読み解き記録を残す。それをもとに下される判決は泉州の他の管理者を納得させるには十分だ。少なくともおいそれと結果が覆されることはない。これも飛翔将軍が俺たちにここに来てほしかった理由だろう。ああ、だが勝手に走り回らないようにしろ。場所が場所だからな。ここは相川。ああ、
半眼はまだ来ていないようなので少々お待ちください。
箱にも。
半眼はまだ来ていないようなので少々お待ちください。